So,
We seem to be live.
are we live?
Michelle, we are on the air.
We are on the air. Woohoo!
That was my news anchor. Good morning and happy Magic Monday.
Happy Magic Monday! Woohoo!
Welcome to another new magical week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know we're gonna talk about some medicine. And I was just having these funny thoughts. I thought I'm gonna share these funny thoughts with Megan because maybe they're really funny. I've played them over in my head a few times, so I'm not even sure if they're funny anymore. So I love to say, and I put this in an email last week, I think, that my life is now before medicine and after medicine. So it's BM or AM. And it's like, BM, not so much. So before medicine and after medicine doesn't work. Okay, so let's try before journeying and after journeying. It doesn't work either. We got BJ and AJ. I'm like, yeah, there's got to be something. I'm like, okay, I got it. Before sacred sacraments, after sacred sacraments, BSS and ASS.
Oh my gosh, it is really funny. And the acronym for before medicine isn't great. We've got bowel movement, BJ. Well, I guess before medicine, BSS is still like BS, like bullshit.
Right?
Maybe we use the letter P prior to medicine. P
P what?
to M.
Prior to medicine, after medicine.
Yeah, that works.
Oh my God. This is good. This is good. I think I'll just spring this on Megan.
Yeah, and share it into Magic Monday, because I feel like part of our magical lives is how every day feels like a day to tell jokes, or like a Saturday. Like even my Mondays feel as fun and exciting and laid back as my Saturdays.
Yeah.
So it was fitting. Not only is it magical, but we're also talking about medicine, because on Thursday we wrapped up our masterclass, Plant Medicine Do's and Don'ts, a tell-all masterclass.
We told it all.
We told it all. We had over 130 people say yes. I think like 15 or 20 people there live, and then lots of people catching the replay. It was so much fun. And because we were kind of like rapid fire answering questions and just laying like a little bit of groundwork, today we wanted to come in here and just talk about the excitement, like the butterflies, the tickles that happen in preparation to medicine, because we're about, 7 or 8 weeks out from our upcoming Ayahuasca awakening. And we still have a few spots available if you're interested. But this begins to be the time. Like this begins to be the time that people start to feel like it could be maybe like urgency or like excitement, right? It could be urgency, but it could also be a little bit of excitement, like, ooh, I'm really inspired. Like I'm feeling called. I want to do this. This is when dreams start to happen. This is when synchronicities start to happen. It's also when funny little challenges or obstacles start to happen. I think of like Scott bought our tickets, but he bought it for the wrong time. So we had to go and redo it. Now, being in the spiritual realm and even for work and business, like we know that these are never examples of why not to do something. But previously, we've heard people say, oh, well, something happened here, and they get like superstitious, like maybe this is the world telling me not to do it. And so knowing like the difference between some sort of God code and your humanness, your ego that senses the most expansive experience in its life coming up, where there could be ego dissolution, can also be a tricky little trickster. And this actually reminds me, I just heard from a client this morning who was like, I absolutely feel called to do ayahuasca. And I just looked into redo my passport. They say it could take like 10 weeks or 13 weeks, which would take them to August. And my invitation to her was, what would it look like if you chose to live as the exception and not the rule?
Yeah.
If ayahuasca is calling you, she's not going, oh gosh, let's check the passports. Should like we get to live in the flow of life. Life is kind, life works out for us. Miracles are normal. And so if anyone has those ideas, that's the humanness going, oh, well, maybe I'll wait for the next one, or even having that excitement and then going, oh man, 13 weeks, I probably won't get it. And like there is a disappointment, but that's still ego going like, hey, buy into this matrix.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that there's an expedient way to do the passport, because we did it for Justin a couple of years ago to have it real fast. But yeah, that's so good to know, because that you had that conversation this morning, because that does happen, right? We say our higher self says yes to something, and then these obstacles show up in our life. I'm going to sneeze. Like a sneeze in the middle of when you're just in the flow, right? You could go, well, maybe this isn't the right time. Or maybe, this is the universe telling me no, when ultimately it's our ego trying to protect itself, right? Because what is medicine? If it's not ego death, it's definitely ego death. And so I love that you bring that up, because a lot of people experience obstacles like that and choose to go into the story that this is a sign that this is not meant to be. Those words make me roll my eyes.
Or divine timing, when the truth is the time is now. I mean,
Yeah.
literally the only time is right now in this moment, right? And it's actually part of the excitement. I mean, this is where the dreams start happening with synchronicities. Your journey starts the moment you say yes. And actually, some might say that the journey starts the moment you get the inspiration.
Yeah.
So whether you say yes to that inspiration or not, it's still like always calling you forward, calling you in, calling you forward, calling you in. And so the journey starts then, and it's a great indication of like, how will you do within the medicine? Will you feel the calling and the pull and resist it for 6 months, 12 months, like who knows? Or will you go, I surrender to the process of life, and I'm being beckoned, I'm being called here, and I answer the call of life. I answer the call of source. I answer the call of the universe. I answer the call of plant medicine, of my higher self, of my intuition.
Yes, that's so good. And like you said, once you're welcome. Once you feel inspired, then grandmother starts communicating with you right away, right? Like things start showing up like, oh, this gets to be cleared. The things that maybe you didn't know were having such an impact on your life become more visible, so that you are fully aware and focused on what gets to be revealed and healed and released and moved through in such an accelerated way. That's what I love about plant medicines.
Yeah. So this is your formal invitation to book a call with us for an interview to see if you're a great fit for Ayahuasca Awakening. If you have the call, we have a few of you on our calendars already from the masterclass, and we're super excited about that. But if you're feeling the calling and you want more information about how Ayahuasca Awakening can support you in your next amazing spiritual up level, go ahead, book a call. And we're just, how much is 7 or 8 weeks out? So the fun begins. We are going to be in June. We're going to be starting our preparation calls where we're preparing our body, mind, heart, and soul to be in a receptive state for this magical, magical experience. And then we'll have our time in Colombia in the jungle, and where there's 4 journeys, 4 times of sitting with ayahuasca. And then we come back and we have integration calls to support you with all of the magic that came through. So it is an all-inclusive, except for your airlines. You buy your own airlines, but other than that, we pick you up at the airport. We take you to a nice hotel. We have a day of preparation there, and then we're transported to the jungle. And then we come back for a day of integration in the hotel, and then we go back to the States. And that's where our integration begins virtually.
Yeah, I love it.
I do think it's important to mention that Michelle will be part of integration calls and preparation calls, but facilitators on site will be me and Scott. So it's not an all women or an all men. It is co-ed this time around. So whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to be so deeply supported. We're going as a couple. So if there's anyone out there that would like to bring their significant other, this is a great time to do it. And yeah, so I just wanted to make that note that Scott is a facilitator and I'll be facilitating, and Michelle will be also, but for the preparation and integration calls.
In other words, I won't be going to Colombia this time.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be supporting on the home front, which is amazing, amazing. So just imagine, I mean, it's a whole adventure going into Colombia, going into the rainforest. The whole thing is just magical. It's like you get to leave all that isn't working for you behind. Right? It's like this reset. It's so powerful. And if you really approach it that way, it's like, okay, I get to leave all this stuff that doesn't work, these beliefs, these ideas. I get to reset, go into the womb of the mother, the beautiful jungle in Colombia, which is just, it is the Garden of Eden. It's glorious and beautiful. And you sit with one of the wisest plants on earth. And it's hard to even put into words. And then you come out and you have the support to bring all of that wisdom, to continue to shed what you left behind. And like, it's truly, I experienced birthing myself. I was born again through ayahuasca and just a fresh new beginning. You even said that as you tuned into my energy system, I felt as fresh and new as a newborn baby.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Scott went and healed from cancer. Like, these are just miraculous teachers. Yeah. And you have the full spectrum of support because we understand what it's like to have a full family. I mean, my husband and I come back to 2 businesses and 5 children and all of that. And so we understand the importance of like, oh, how do we bring that beauty into our family? How do we allow it to enrich our lives instead of us go like, I've had this awakening and now you guys are so human.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Like, how do you integrate all of that and allow your family to reap the benefits? It just is, yeah, it is a true soul calling and such a blessing that we get to support you in that. So if you are feeling this, I encourage you to book a call, give yourself the gift of this sort of transformation.
Yes, for sure. And Tori's putting the booking links in the comments below. Yeah. So that, or you can DM Megan or I to book a call and we'll get you on our calendar.
Sorry, I wanted to see if we had any comments and I played the sound. So we have here, we didn't have this up, but Hi, Angel.
So glad to have you here, Angel. Thanks for tuning in.
You said, anytime I'm going on an expansive trip, there are obstacles that pop up. Yeah. And so one, don't let it stop you. Like sometimes you've got to just plow through that shit and be doing the inner work of like, oh, that's interesting. What part of me would like to not have this experience? Because the conscious mind would say, yes, I want this experience. And then other parts, unconscious parts that go, no, no, I don't. Right? So really loving and working with that part but not succumbing to it being your boss or the one to direct, right? And this is something that's really great about plant medicine is you learn all the different aspects of self. Maybe not all at one time, but you start to learn how many different parts and aspects there are of you. And then you can start really reparenting that part that wants to sabotage something that's going to be expansive and amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And let's see. So glad Aisha, oh my, so glad I joined. Thank you. So happy to have you here. So glad that you joined as well. If this is calling to you, please book a call. Michelle, you have inspired me to do shadow work, and now this. Can't thank you enough. You might know this person. I might be saying the name wrong. So how do I overcome the lack mindset, i.e. money in the bank, and say yes to this? Well, the way that I would do it if I didn't have the cash in the bank is I would use a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this really comes down to like values and like what is really important to you. For me, this sort of spiritual journey and up level supports me in all areas of my life that to me it's worth paying a little bit of interest on and paying that off as I integrate all of this newness. And because I trust myself and I also honor and love myself, I'm willing to do that and knowing that I'm fully supported and taken care of in paying that off, right? So for me, it's just something that I have committed to, that my soul evolution is not determined by money. And so that's inner work that I did for quite some time. And now that is top of our list, the way that our mortgage would be, and the way that our food would be. That soul evolution and mind expansion is extremely important to me.
Yes, and me. Like Megan said, it's high priority. We figure out a way, right?
Yep. I mean, yeah, you could ask for someone to loan you the money. Typically what happens in these expansive states of mind is you come back with a new answer, right? Like, oh yeah, that's funny. I was worried about money. I actually thought this little thing could keep me from that.
Yeah.
Again, it's an experiential thing. So just hearing me say it, you're probably like, oh, I don't know. But experiencing it, for me, it was like, oh, I'll never not have these experiences due to money. So
Exactly. Good.
their own. And we're so excited to talk to all of you. Happy Magic Monday.
Thanks for tuning in. We just love this time. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
All right, everyone. Mwah.
No.
Bye.